Hello and welcome back. My name is Emma and this week I'm going to be telling you how to write copy for the web, be that email or just a web page. The way that people read copy online is not the same as they read it when it's printed out or in any other format. It's very specific. So you need to know how to write exactly for that medium if you're going to get maximum impact with your copy, and I'm going to tell you how to do it. Let's do this. So first up, as I mentioned, people do not read copy online the same way that they read it when it's printed. For example, when you are reading printed copy, you are holding a physical item and you are committed to reading every single word in every single paragraph, typically, let's say, because you're holding that item. That's the only thing you've got to look at that moment in time, and you've picked it up deliberately because you want to read it. In contrast, reading online is incredibly difficult. You might be sitting on a page, reading that page. You know that there are thousands of other pages and other things vying for your attention, other little teaser articles in a sidebar. You know you've got 5 other emails you could be looking at. There's a link over here, a link over there. You've got ample opportunity to wander away and not read what you're currently reading. You're on a mission. You've got the world at your fingertips. You are not committed to that one specific article. Long story short, people have specific behaviours while reading online. The first is that they read a web page or an email in an F-shaped pattern. That is that they start at the left hand side of the page and move horizontally along, and there are actually heat map studies that track eye movement and mouse movement over a page that shows this. The bright red at the top is what people mostly read, so we can see that they read most at the top of the page, and then it tapers out as it gets further down, always starting from the left. Obviously that's how you would read a book, but the thing that we're learning here is that the top line is your gold dust line, and as it gets further down the page you start to see it taper off. So what can we take from this? Well, copy is best written in an arrow shape, right? So you're going to put all of your best bits right at the top, the stuff that you really need them to know, the benefit, the hook, the grabber. They're not going to get all the way through the copy if you don't work hard to give them something that they want and all of the best information at the very top, and then pull them through to the end. You can then start to stagger your content, maybe a secondary point and then a tertiary point and then a CTA at the bottom. Funneling it down like this in order of importance, and at the point of your pyramid, that's the humdinger, that's your call to action. So that's the first thing that we can take from the way people read online to how we're going to write for them. The next is that people scan copy online. They don't sit down and read it word by word, but effectively people are scanning through, and they're scanning through to find the details that are most relevant to them, and because that is how they read online. As I said before, there is so much competition for their attention that they want to get as much information as they can from any one particular source as quickly as possible so they can move on to something new. And you have to know how to write to compensate for this. So as well as writing in a triangle, starting with your best benefits and working down to your CTA, you're also going to format your content to cater to scannability. And that is to use simple devices like headers and subheaders. People can easily see what's what on the page. Oh, this is the section about that. This is the section about this. Really clear, I cannot stress that enough, clear, benefit-led, short headers and titles, because if you're ranging off into the overly obscure, people aren't going to know. They need to know what that is in plain English right now. They don't have time to play elaborate games with you or be seduced by whimsical... I mean, you can be a little bit whimsical in what you say, but let's not forget that titles and subheaders have a job to do, and that is to convey the information as quickly as possible. You can also resort, that's the wrong word, try. Let's try bullet points to to make a lot of copy very, very easy to read very, very quickly. And I've mentioned this in another video, I can't remember which one it was, making copy sound simple. And that is to make sure that you are using bold at the beginning of your bullet points. So, because we know that people read in an F shape, they're starting at the left, maybe they won't make it to the end of the right, you know? So we want to make sure that everything that's very important to say, aka the benefit, or the main takeaway for the bullet point, is on the left, at the beginning, front loaded. Bold that shit out, and then you can taper it off into the rest of the bullet point. It doesn't have to be bold, you can say the rest. We just need to make sure that people can scan that and they can take away just exactly what they need from it, the thing that you want to be communicating straight away. They don't have to work for it, because they're not going to work for it. I'm not going to shit you up, bro. They're not going to work for it. If there's something in the body copy that you really want them to read, for example, here's a 40% discount, or we've made changes to X, Y, and Z, or we've just launched brand new X, Y, and Z, bold that shit out. They don't even have to read the whole paragraph. Will they even read it? I mean, as a writer, I would really like to think so, but I know in my heart of hearts that probably, nah mate, they're not going to read it. So bold that shit out so they can see the headline, or there's the bit in the text that they want me to see, and here's the CTA. I can decide whether or not I'm clicking through. I will throw in a bonus about subject lines, and precursor to this I'm just going to say subject lines are incredibly specific to your customers and your readership. So it's really trial and error that you have to keep evolving and doing and testing. But a vague best case kind of example would be to make sure that your subject lines for emails are incredibly clear, that they're incredibly benefit led, and that you are again putting all your best bits at the beginning at the left. So if it's new, you need to tell them it's new right at the front. It's no good saying blah 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 blah, it's brand new, because that's probably going to get cut off in the display when they're looking at their Gmail or their Yahoo or their Outlook or whatever, might get cut off. You need to make sure it's at the beginning, that's what they're reading first, that's the main thing. So stick that, everything that's important, front load again, and make use of really emotional words, trigger words, their name, a number. These are all things that typically work very well. And again, be super, super relevant, super, super clear, and don't try and get too clever, because if the benefit's not obvious, it's not going to get clicked on, it's not going to get opened. All that hard work was for nothing. So remember how they read and work to that. Remember that your email is sitting in an inbox full of noise. You need to be able to tell them what they need to know right now. Even if they don't open it, they still know you've got a new collection out. They still know that this has changed. They still know that you're around. So those are just some things to consider. This was really fast, wasn't it? If you have any questions you'd like to ask about this, you can pop a comment below and I'll answer them for you. Or you can find me on Twitter at EJCownley and ask me there. I hope this has been helpful. I did forget to tell you to like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you next week, back here, same time, same place, for another video. Until then, take care.